Hey everyone, it's Daisy here. So story time. A while back, I spilled coffee all over my favorite white dress. So I dashed to buy a replacement, only to realize I didn't really have the funds. That made me think, despite being in my 20s and having a job, why was I still living paycheck to paycheck? Maybe I was doing this adulting thing wrong. That's when it hit me. I've been following the usual don't buy lats and no more takeouts money-saving tips. But somehow, they don't work for me. It was time to get a bit wild and shake things up. So I decided to dive deep into unconventional savings hacks, the ones that make you go, really? Does that even work? So I found and I actually tried them. And to my total surprise, some of these weird tactics saved me more money than all those lats ever did. So, ready to get a little weird and save a lot of cash? Hit that subscribe button and let's go down this list together. 1. The ice block trick. You know how sometimes you're just scrolling online, see that latest gadget or fashion piece, and think, I absolutely need this right now. Yep, been there. One time, I stumbled upon this adorable handbag. The perfect shade, the ideal size. My fingers were itching to punch in those credit card numbers. But here's the real tea. Most of our impulse buys, they're based on momentary feelings, not real needs. So I thought, how can I put a pause on this instant gratification urge? That's when I thought of the ice block trick. I actually took my credit card and froze it inside a big old block of ice. Imagine me with my freezer door open, plopping my card into a Tupperware and chucking it into the icy abyss. Sounds insane, I know, but stick with me. Now, the next time I was tempted, like with that handbag, I had to wait for that block to melt before I could even touch my card. And let's be real, that takes hours. The beauty of this hack. Time is a game changer. In those waiting hours, the rush of I need it now often faded. I'd find myself questioning, do I really need another handbag? Isn't there something similar sitting in my closet? More often than not, by the time that ice had melted, my desire to buy had too. And guess what? I saved money and avoided a purchase I might have regretted later. Now, am I saying you should never treat yourself? Of course not. But this trick taught me the importance of pausing and reflecting. It turned out a lot of my must-haves were really just wants. 2. Wear your wardrobe. So, a couple of months ago, I was doing that typical routine where I stare into my packed wardrobe and thought to myself that I had nothing to wear. Sound familiar? And just as I was about to head online to grab some new outfits, a thought hit me, have I truly worn everything I own? Challenge accepted. I decided right then, no more easy picks, no more go-to outfits. I was going to wear every single item in my wardrobe before repeating. Yeah, even that funky sweater I got on a sale 3 years ago and never wore. And let me tell you, this journey was eye-opening. First off, I realized how many clothes I owned. Like, it was a tad embarrassing. Some still had tags on. And the more I started rotating through my clothes, the more I stumbled upon pieces I had completely forgotten about. By doing this, 2 things happened. First, I genuinely felt like I was shopping in my closet. Pairing that old skirt with a top I never thought of wearing it was suddenly felt like a brand new outfit. It was like playing dress up every day, and girl, it was yen. Second, the urge to constantly buy new clothes. It significantly reduced, because every day felt like I was wearing something new, even if it was old. By not splurging every other week on new clothes, my bank account started to look a whole lot healthier. So if you're feeling like you're in a fashion rut or your wallet's crying out for a break, give this hack a try. 3. Homemade house cleaner. It's a Saturday morning and I'm doing my usual grocery run. I zip over to the cleaning aisle and the prices are so high for these cleaners. I remember thinking, why is getting my place clean costing me a mini fortune? That's when I stumbled upon a DIY cleaning recipe online. I was a bit skeptical, not gonna lie. But hey, I'm always up for a challenge, so I thought, why not give it a try? First, let's talk ingredients. We're going back to basics here. Vinegar, baking soda, and lemon. 3 things most of us probably already have chilling in our kitchens. And the best part? These are all natural, no weird chemicals, and super affordable. I mixed equal parts water and vinegar, added a couple of tablespoons of baking soda, and finished with a few squeezes of lemon for that zesty freshness. Poured it into an old spray bottle, gave it a shake, and there you go, my very own homemade cleaner. Now, when I calculated the cost of the ingredients used versus how many times I could refill my bottle compared to store-bought cleaners, the difference was staggering. I was saving a bundle. 4. Envelope System 2.0. So, we've all heard of the classic envelope system, right? For those who don't know, it's pretty simple. You allocate specific cash amounts for different expenses and put them into separate envelopes. When the cash runs out, that's it until the next month. Sounds old school, but it's a fantastic way to visualize and control spending. But I thought, why not level up this method? Here's what I did. At the beginning of each month, I'd still allocate money into different envelopes. But here's the twist. For every envelope that still had money left by the end of the month, I'd reward myself by taking 10% of that leftover cash and sliding it straight into my savings account. One month, I was super tempted to buy this pair of shoes. I peeked into my shopping envelope and saw I had just enough. But then, I thought about my 10% reward. If I resisted and left the envelope untouched, not only would I save the shoe money, but I'd also get that sweet bonus to boost my savings. Guess what? I held off, and by month end, not just the shopping but a couple of other envelopes had money left. Doing the math and transferring that 10% felt so satisfying. It was like a game where my savings account was the score, and every month I aimed to beat my previous record. This approach did two things for me. First is the motivation to spend less. The possibility of that reward pushed me to think twice before reaching into an envelope. Do I really need this, or can it wait? Second are the bonus savings. At the end of the year, those little 10% bonuses added up to a pretty nice sum. So if you're looking for a fresh, engaging way to manage your finances, try the Envelope System 2.0. It's like turning saving money into a fun challenge. 5. The Dice Decider. Now, as much as I enjoy the convenience and deliciousness of dining out, my bank account was singing a different tune. It hit me that I was burning through cash on meals that I could often make at home for a fraction of the cost. That's when I stumbled upon the idea of the Dice Decider. Every time I'd get the urge to grab a meal outside, I'd roll a standard 6-sided die. If it landed between 1 and 3, I'd challenge myself to whip up something at home. If it rolled 4 to 6, well, that was my cue to treat myself without any guilt. By adding this element of chance, two things happened. One is balanced choices. It made me realize I don't always need to dine out to satisfy a craving. Sometimes, a homemade meal can be just as delightful, if not more. Second is that it's pocket-friendly. On months I used the Dice Decider consistently, my dining out expenses dropped noticeably. It was a win for both my palate and my purse. So if you're looking to add a sprinkle of fun to your meal decisions and keep those food expenses in check, give the Dice Decider a go. 6. Old school tech. A while back, amidst my daily scroll on my smartphone, I suddenly had this wild thought. How much time and money am I spending because of this device? Between the shopping apps, game purchases, subscription services, and the constant lure of online sales, my phone was less of a communication tool and more of a money-draining machine. So, I hatched a plan. For an entire month, I decided to swap my feature-packed smartphone for an old-school, basic cell phone. Just calls and texts. No apps, no browsers, no tempting notifications about the latest sale. The first few days, total culture shock. I'd instinctively reach for my phone to check social media, only to remember, oh right, can't do that now. But you know what? It got easier. At the end of the month, when I tallied up how much I'd saved by not giving in to instant online buys or in-app purchases, the difference was astounding. And while I did eventually go back to using my smartphone, the experience taught me to be more mindful of my digital consumption and its impact on my wallet. 7. 48-hour rule. The idea is as straightforward as it sounds. Whenever I'm about to make a non-essential purchase, I hit pause and wait for 48 hours. Yep, 2 full days. A few months back, I stumbled upon this absolutely stunning pair of boots online. My heart said yes, but my brain and my budget whispered, do you really need it? So I bookmarked the page and decided to give it 2 days. If, after 48 hours, I was still daydreaming about those boots, I'd consider getting them. You know what happened? As the hours ticked by, that initial I must have this feeling started to wane. By the end of the second day, I realized I already had a similar pair tucked away in my closet. The urge had completely faded, and I skipped the purchase, saving a pretty penny in the process. I won't lie, it takes a bit of discipline, especially when there's a sale screaming last chance. But the beauty of the 48-hour rule is its simplicity and its effectiveness. It's taught me to shop more mindfully, and my bank account is definitely happier for it. So the next time you're about to click that Buy Now button or grab that impulse item at the checkout, why not try waiting it out? Challenge yourself to the 48-hour rule. 8. Store without doors. This idea struck me one day when I was about to order this super cozy blanket online. Just as I was about to hit checkout, I thought, do I already have something like this? So I took a little detour to my linen closet and did a bit of rummaging, and there it is. Found a blanket I'd bought last winter and completely forgotten about. It was just as soft and just as cozy as the one in my online cart. This got me thinking, how often do we buy things we already own, simply because we forget or overlook what we have? So I set myself a rule. Before making a purchase, I'd shop in my home first. This store without doors method was a revelation. Not only did it save me money, but it also made me more aware and appreciative of what I already owned. Plus, there's a certain thrill in rediscovering items you've forgotten about or finding new uses for old things. 9. Anti-advertising. How many times have you found yourself watching a commercial or an online ad and thinking, "Woo, I need that"? If you're nodding along, you're not alone. The power of advertising is real, and believe it or not, I fell for it way too often. That is, until I decided to give anti-advertising a shot. It started one evening when I was watching my favorite TV show. During every commercial break, I was bombarded with ads, everything from the latest tech gadgets to the juiciest burgers. And I won't lie, by the end of the show, I was oddly craving a burger and considering an upgrade to my already pretty decent headphones. That's when it clicked. What if I reduced my exposure to these ads? Would I feel less tempted to spend? So I set myself a challenge. For one whole week, every time commercials came on TV, I'd hit the mute button. Online, I made it a point to skip ads the moment they popped up. No more letting them play out to see what the fuss was about. One evening, my friends and I were chatting, and they were raving about this newly launched skincare product. They'd seen it in an ad. Me, I had no idea what they were talking about, and while they rushed to buy it, I felt content without it. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by the constant barrage of buy this, try that. Maybe give anti-advertising a go. It's like a mini detox for your wallet and your mind. 10. Coin challenge. Okay, let's dive into one of my absolute favorite hacks. It's so simple that when I first heard of it, I thought, no way this is going to make a difference. But oh, how wrong I was. I'm talking about the coin challenge. Here's how it began. One day while cleaning, I found a bunch of coins under my couch cushions, in old bags, and scattered in drawers. You know those pesky coins we often overlook, thinking, it's just a bit of loose change. But as I gathered them, it made a neat little pile, and I got curious. How much could I save if I intentionally set aside coins every single day? So, the challenge was set. Every day for a month, I'd empty my pockets, bags, or wallet and drop any coins into a big glass jar. Pennies, dimes, quarters, they all went in. By month's end, when I emptied and counted the jar, the result was a delightful surprise. I had enough for a lovely dinner, or a new book, or even a mini spa day. It wasn't a fortune, but it felt like free money. The coin challenge taught me that every little bit counts. And while it's easy to dismiss the small stuff, over time, it can lead to something significant. And there you have it. 10 wacky, weird, but oh so effective money-saving hacks. So which one surprised you the most? Or have you tried any strange strategies that worked wonders for your wallet? Share them in the comments. Until next time, keep those coins clinking, and remember, sometimes the weirdest tricks have the most wonderful outcomes.